it's funny because I rewatch movies. One of my favorite movies, I'll just come clean, is the movie Wall Street. And it's this story of the young up and coming guy and the older guy, the mentor, and they try to do business together. And of course, bad things happen. And, you see people learn. And I used to watch that movie when I was in my 20s. Now I'm watching the movie when I'm 50. And I learn different things now. As I watch it over and over again, I learn new lessons and I see things in different ways because that story helps us kind of process what's going on in our world. And your story seems almost designed that way. And again, you have this Earth concept. Is that what you said?
Yes, Earth concept.
And again, that's something I'm not as familiar with. But tell me, maybe let's just do it now before I want to get into the artists and the NFTs. But let's talk about the baseline of this story because it's two worlds that we can really identify with. One is this high-tech transhumanist world where we're woven in with technology. One that we just spoke about is coming probably sooner than we think. And we all probably have some anxiety about what's coming, right? And then you've got another world, right, that's really, I guess, more a little old school, right? More fantasy and powers and probably things we thought 1,000, 2,000 years ago. And something that's also in people. And you've separated these two worlds. And yet, and I want to spoil the whole story, they both derive energy from this source.
Yes.
And they both don't know that they need this energy source mutually. And when they find that out, they find out that they have to try to work together. Am I doing that justice?
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
And so just maybe tell us a little bit more about this story because it's quite, one of the things you said on one of our early calls is it's quite meta.
This is exactly what we're living now.
This is what we're living.
Exactly. The two different worlds. Old Stone Age, metaverse, dystopia, changing world. We are more and more connected to the virtual and less connected to the earth. And this is exactly what's going to happen. This story is a metaphor and explain you different points, not judging technology or fantasy and saying this is good, this is bad. The story is a question of angle. Where is the camera? Where is shooting the camera? Everything is about angle. And it explains you the story. Something very strong and very deep about vibration. The vibration is the beginning of everything. I'm not gonna spoil you, but the vibration is absolutely everything. And the essence of the magic, the essence of the technology. And it's how you will understand that we can be different. At the end of the day, we are not. We are human. So yeah, it's talking about like a lot of subject, a lot of topic. And the more you go deeper on the story, more you want to understand more. Because the question is, how can you create something and going super deep for 10 next year? Have you an idea about that? Do you have something behind that? The answer is yes. We definitely have an answer about that. And when you start to read, when you will understand why we put it chapter by chapter for free on the website, you will understand what is our vision. But then I'm gonna spoil myself here now.
It sounds really interesting because I think we all know that, yeah, this new technology world is coming. We're anxious about it. And yet we all know somehow we're grounded in the earth and in, the ways of the pure nature and all of what used to be. I remember, my grandma, and I remember stories that she would say and the way they lived their life. And sometimes we long for it, right? We have nostalgia for those times. So we obviously understand there's value. And yet we're seduced by this also new technology. But we also know it's going to come with, challenges. And so this story tells that, like you said, by moving angles around. So you can try to maybe learn from that. Now, this would have been a great book series and a great movie series and a great HBO show. So you're taking it to the next level. You are allowing people to now play this game and have the NFTs. And you've got the writers working on the story. I know you got some amazing musicians involved.
Yes.
Then you've got the artists that are creating the characters.
Yeah.
And I think you have 70 around the world.
Yes.
From all sorts of different countries.
Absolutely.
And you're giving them also some ownership of their own art, which is very different maybe than the typical gaming world. Tell us about what this is and maybe tell me a little bit about cards.
Here we go. So to answer step by step, you have today 70 artists, for the season 1, but we already working on the season 2, and there are 115 now artists involved on the project. Those artists work on several biggest projects on the world. You have people used to work, on Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Marvel, Spider-Man, DC Comics, Avatar, Matrix, Nier Automata, Lord of the Ring, and like all the biggest projects, Cyberpunk, The Witcher. The thing very interesting is the writing team created a brief of all the character, and they created a graphic Bible of all the universe. And the challenge was to create something with everyone together and to give them the elements. And sometimes it's just amazing because you have like a character already, like we created already a character and we give this character for another artist and say, okay, I have this artist, so you have to put it, with a new character inside, and you have the machine and you have to put this machine and you have to put that from the other character. So it's like a work of all the artists together that make like a new piece and a new vision. Because when you have a card, and when this card you see on the background, it's the universe of another artist, you understand how it's deep and how everything is connected. Every brief is around 20 pages, and you have 365 different cards. We're talking about 7,000 pages of documentation and picture giving, to the people. The work made behind that is just stunning. You can't imagine how long, people staying and do it the brief again and again to be sure that everything will connected. Because the card of the season 1 are connected for the season 2, and nothing is here by random.
God, man, it used to just be writing a novel or making a movie, and now you've got kind of 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional characters woven into stories, woven into games, and then nothing's been done like this before, really. This is new territory.
True. It's the first time that you have a kind of game, based on IP and doing this kind of stuff. And what we want to do is going really deeper and deeper and deeper, because this is the first step. But we already created something bigger than that. We created modelization of all the character in 3 dimensions, because we expect that the game will be deeper than we have today. The thing is, you have different steps to reach, starting with something, and the collectible is something that everyone can understand. Everyone is touched by collectible. Why the NFT is working like that? So you have an intention, a big intention of the people to being owner of NFT. So the collectible is something that most of all the people will want to get something, and we've seen it, and it's why it's growing so fast.